If you've ever had a mobile phone when they first came out, and I'm talking about the bag phones, the car install phones, any of those phones back in the day, or a pager, how did it make you feel? Did you feel like you were somebody, or you felt like, hey, you're going to show me some respect because this is what I've got? Or like you was the shoot because I have a phone and you don't? It's amazing how sometimes something that's material can make us feel a boost of confidence or feel like we belong when otherwise we don't maybe have that self acceptance or self value developed yet. Let's get into how a mobile phone can make you feel that I have arrived or now I'm somebody. Let's talk. So I have had a mobile phone ever since my oldest son, my only son, was little, and his sister, my first daughter, they were just little tots. But I had a mobile phone, and you couldn't tell me nothing when I got that phone. And I'm not, everybody has a phone now, so it's not such a big deal, but this phone was the spark, I guess you could say, to not only me wanting more, but to starting to achieve more. Now, back, remember, I was a single mother household, and so now by this time I have two children, and phones had just come out as an install. They were the install car phones. So you had this phone that had the coily cord, and it was installed in your car. It was like hooked to a frame, and that frame held this clip, and that's what your phone. And it was big. It was like a regular receiver. Well, I say regular. Back in the day, for people who remember house phones, it was about that tall, and the numbers were on the outside of it. So you punched numbers like that, held it up to your phone, and talked. But anyway, it had a cord to it. This phone was, to me anyway, the symbol of, hey, I might be a single mother, but I have a phone. And I know I got all the looks, because how does this single mother household who started out as a teen mother have a phone? Because back in those days, people were really judgy. They're really judgy now too, but it was more loud judgment, I guess you could say. Well, it was in my mind because I could, and you know what? Now that I think about it, it may not have been. It may have been something in my own mind that I thought people were talking about me and the things that I had or what I was doing, when in reality, that was my own mind working. If people were talking, it didn't get to me, so I don't know that that's what anything may have been going around. But in my mind, I guess that's what I was thinking. I was feeling that, hey, who does she think she is because she's got a phone? Well, I had my phone, and it was because I worked. I worked, even though I had the kids and what appeared to be a household of lack or doing without. We had things. We had things. And I was proud of that because I did work and I tried to make the best life I could for my two young children. But back to the phone. I had this phone, y'all, and you couldn't tell me nothing with it. You couldn't tell me. I would pick that phone up and just be dry, acting like I was talking to somebody. I wasn't talking to nobody some of the times. I was not talking to anybody. But I had the phone, and you were going to see that I had the phone. And part of my reason for getting the phone was because when the kids were young, we traveled. Y'all, I had this Honda that was hanging on for dear life. Actually, yeah, I did have the Honda later, but before that, I had a Cutlass Supreme. Oh, I love my brown Cutlass Supreme until it had a wreck. That's for another story. As far as the Honda's for another story too. But that's what my install phone was on, the Cutlass and then the Honda. I I was the shoot. There was really nothing you couldn't tell me. And we traveled a lot. And at that time, The marketing was fantastic for the phones because it made you feel like, well, you want to be safe when you're traveling. And if you're traveling, you want to be able to reach out to people and let them know that you're doing okay or that you're on your way. Or if something happens, you may need to call for assistance or service. And I'm sitting here thinking now, but back then I wasn't thinking this. But I'm thinking now, what did we do when we traveled all these long ways without a phone before? What did we do? What when you had a flat tire or your carburetor blew out or whatever it was that quit working in that car? What did we do? Did you sit on the road and wait for somebody, right? Yeah, or somebody in the car hopefully knew how to change a tire or get under that hood and see what was going on. But yeah, you think about it. But the marketing was excellent for the phone and it got me to get one. And it didn't take a lot for me to decide to purchase it because I did have two young children and we were traveling. We went to Florida, we went to Oklahoma, Texas, we went all over. And that was the days before the DVDs in the cars. So they had coloring books and books to read and different things to draw on. That was their entertainment. That was that and going to sleep. And we sang or we talked because, we always had a car stereo. Always had a car stereo. And it was a good one. It was a good one. But anyway, getting back to the story, we have this phone and I'm driving around talking to nobody sometimes just so people can see me on that phone. When I think about it now, it was because of something that I was lacking or the feeling that I was not worthy or I was not enough. I didn't belong because I have been a single mother and an early teen mother. And I didn't feel that acceptance. And I was looking for outside things to make me feel accepted and valued and important. And having that install phone was part of that. Sometimes when you don't have much or you don't have a lot, and as I called it back in one of my earlier episodes, the don't have so muches. Well, I was one of those don't have so muches. And when you're going around to places and doing things and interacting with people, you want to put your best foot forward or you want to be seen as someone that is accepting or that they belong to something or that you're a part of something. And I realize now, I actually realized it some years back, but I realized that some of these things that I was doing back in my early years have shaped a lot of the steps that I took now and have given me some of the problems, or I don't really say problems, but some of the challenges and, issues and situations that I've encountered as an adult. And it's only when you start to look back on some of that and see how it shaped you and shaped some of your actions and the things that you're involved in or become a part of because of the things you did back then. Now, I'm not saying everything is a part of that and everything shapes that kind of thing, but sometimes we have to go back and unpack some of the things that we have been through or have done and see how that is shaping our now. When you do that, it gives you a clearer picture of what it is you may need to adjust or change or redirect from. And in another podcast, I had also talked about rerouting yourself. Sometimes if you feel like you're on a path that you feel like you're getting lost or losing your way, you can stop right then and reroute and say, okay, is this what I want to do? Or let me adjust these directions to get a clearer path to where I'm trying to go. And when we do that, we have a clearer picture of what it is we're trying to accomplish, where it is we're trying to go, and how we're going to get there. A lot of times we look towards material things or things that make us shine in a light that we feel others are more accepting of. Goodness. We feel that belonging and we feel that acceptance and that we deserve to be a part of this group, or that we deserve to be included. And the truth is, you deserve it regardless of whether somebody thinks you do or not, because it all depends on you. It depends on your thought process. It depends on what you are thinking about yourself and what you believe about yourself. Sometimes we don't believe that we're worthy, or believe that we're valued, believe that we belong, or believe that we can be accepted because we don't believe for ourselves. We have to work on changing our mindset up to not only speak positivity into our life, but to think it also. And then once we're thinking it, we have to walk in that. We have to look the part. We have to dress the part, speak the part, be the part. Because you can dress up the outside, but if the inside is still looking funky or in ragtags, then that's what's going to be your output. That is what you are going to produce. And sooner or later, you're not going to be able to keep it up. Trust me, you're not going to be able to keep it up. I've been there. And it may break you down to a point where you say, okay, something's got to change, or it may be even more severe and break you down into a depression, and then you need a whole lot more to bring you out of it. So all I'm saying is look for what the root of your problems are, or the root of your issues, or the root of the situations of why you may not move forward, why you may hesitate on taking action, and why you may think that you're not deserving enough or good enough for the things that you want to accomplish. Because everything is waiting on you. It is waiting on you to take the steps, waiting on you to take the action. And until you do that, you're going to keep being on the same hamster wheel, keep staying stuck, keep being frozen and not moving. And that's not going to get you anywhere. So for today, and that's all we can do is each day by day. I want you to promise yourself that today you're going to take one thing that you feel is something you want to do, but you can't seem to act on it. Take that one thing, write it down, and see what steps can I take to make this happen. Thanks for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Cobra King Conversations. Let's talk.